For the first 5 years of like starting businesses, like I was a loser. I tried to get a job at Google. I tried to get a job as an accountant. They didn't hire me.
What do you do differently now?
I've done a lot of dumb things in my life. That thing was amazing.
Do you think Hampton will be your life's work? Do you look at it like that?
It's a very simple business. It's incredibly hard. I want to get 8 amazing people in a room every single month and let them have the best conversations.
What are the biggest changes you want to make to the business that you haven't made yet?
I want to figure out how to get 10,000 people to be members and have them meet in real life every month. And I want to like prove that I'm like amazing, and I want to like kick ass and prove everyone wrong and rub it in their face and like prove to myself that I'm great.
Are you happy?
Hey, so today we're jamming with Sam Parr. Sam is famous for starting a newsletter business called The Hustle that he sold to HubSpot for tens of millions of dollars. And we're going to talk about his next company, Hampton. Hampton is a peer network for founders, and they went from something like $0 to $1 million in ARR in like 60 days, extremely fast. So we're going to talk about creating a community where your job is kind of to make conversations where like grown men cry. Becoming a friend billionaire, and what it's like to run a company that you really never plan to sell, where the product is you hanging out with the most successful, interesting people in the world. So let's get into it.
Sam, all right, man. I'm pumped to be doing this with you. My guess is most people will know you for a pretty like prolifically famous business that you had before Hampton.
Look, that company, they know it because, people know me more than... I have more popularity or like whatever, known, not fame, because bigger than my actual success, because the newsletter, like the goal of the newsletter was to be popular, right?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say Southern Sam's wieners as big as baby's arm.
Oh my God. Yeah.
There was a newsletter in there too, and I think HubSpot bought one of those, right?
They did not buy my hot dog stand. They did buy the newsletter, and they did buy trends and the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to spend today. I want to jam with you on Hampton. I want to jam with you on community, but for somebody who doesn't know, what were you doing before this?
From Missouri, lived in San Francisco for a long time, owned a hot dog stand. That's like the joke, but that's what I did. Started a thing called The Hustle, which was the newsletter. That grew. We sold that I bootstrapped it and sold it for tens of millions of dollars when I was 31. That was 4 years ago. And now I have a company called Hampton. And a lot of people know me because I mess around on Twitter, because The Hustle was really popular. I think at one point we had like 3 million people a day reading it. And then I have The Hustle owned a podcast called My First Million. Last year we had 100 million downloads, and so we're popular because of that.
Hampton, you guys went from like 0 to 8 million ARR in like 18 months. Is that right?
Was that true?
That's what I heard. That's the word on the street.
Yeah, we've done well. I don't think we've ever publicly disclosed like what our revenue was.
Yeah.
But yeah, we grew.
Do you want to disclose anything now?
Nope, I don't. But the reason I don't talk about it is because I don't want my members to think that we're doing this just for money. I don't really care about the money, to be honest. I just want the company to last for forever, and I want it to provide value to our customers. But if you're only looking at the top line revenue, yeah, we built a really cool company really fast. And I think that we actually grew slower than we could have. And frankly, I would like to grow even slower. So yeah, it's a good business. It's a business. Dude, when I was starting The Hustle, people were like, this is like a joke of a business because it was just a newsletter. I think this company is the same thing, where people serious operators don't take it serious, but it's going to be like a huge thing.
What is Hampton? Somebody doesn't know.
It's a peer group for CEOs. So our average member does something like 25 million in revenue. The main thing that you get is if you're in one of the 12 cities that we operate in, you sign up, we interview you. My co-founder, Joe, and I, we approve or deny everyone. If we invite you in, you're put into a core group of 8 people who have similar sizes and types of businesses and similar-ish personalities. You meet once a month to talk about, like, I got to lay people off. How do I do it? Or, like, I'm really succeeding. What do I do with this money? And then we also have hundreds of events and a network-wide community that you can be part of.
Yeah, I love that. I've got, like, I do this informally with friends. Like,
That's how we started.
It's cool, right? We work out of Chelsea Piers Fitness on Park Ave, and it's like we got some guys that are older than us. We got all these like kids, basically like 20, 22, 23. You know,
how old are you?
How old do you think I am? Get a guess.
Dude, are you Asian?
Dude, everyone thinks I'm Asian.
Are you Hispanic?
I'm Hispanic.
You look Asian. Asian guys could be like,
yeah.
All my Asian buddies, I'm like, you're either 20 or you're 60, dude. I have no idea. I don't know.
I'm 20. I just turned 28.
28?
Just turned 28. Yeah.
Having a group like that is awesome. That's how we started. My co-founder and I had our own little group.
Yeah. Let's shut on the idea. So I know, for the hustle, you and I have this mutual friend, Andrew Warner, and my understanding is you got a lot of the how should I think about this from Mr. G, from his podcast?
No, my old company, The Hustle, I basically started it because of everything that I learned on Mr. G.
Yeah. So was there
I watched interviews and I watched 10 interviews and then I contacted them and then I triangulated everything and I'm like, oh, that's my business.
Yeah. Was there a version of that for Hampton?
No, there's only 2 or 3 or 4 companies that are like ours, but a lot of them no one has known, but there's literally only a handful of them, but some of them are one of them called Vistage recently sold a year or 2 years ago, I forget, for something like $2 billion. They do probably at this point, maybe $200 or $300 million a year in profit. And then there's another one called World 50. They do 9 figures a year in profit. And the CEOs of those companies have been mentors to me. And that's about it. There's not been many out there.
Do you consider I was looking into this a couple of days ago. To me, there's a lot I didn't know about. So I was asking Sean Griffey, the industry dive guy, about once he was talking about. Yeah. There's
I think he's getting into this space.
He's thinking about it. He likes me. We've been emailing about that. There's one that's Tiger something that's kind of rich investor
21.
people.
So they are a group for high net worth people. So $30, $50 million a year 30 or 40 or $50 million net worth.
Yeah. Chief does I think over 100 mil. So this is this could be a 9-figure business. No? I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's a company, and I've said this a bunch of times, no one's going to listen to me, but it's a company, it's a business model that it's really hard, by the way. It's a pain in the ass. It's a very hard business. It's very logistics heavy, but the moat is huge. And if it works, it can work, I think, for 50 or 60 or 70 years. Vistage was founded in the 60s, YPO in the 50s and 60s. So yeah, it can last for a long ass time.
So coming up with the idea, refining the idea, what were you doing between first thinking about this and in launch? Because I remember didn't you sit down with a bunch of people and you interviewed folks and then the idea went one way and then another? What was that?
My partner Joe and I, we got it to $1 million in revenue in just probably 2 or 3 months, and we did it without a website. At first, the idea was we were going to do it for VPs at companies.
Okay.
And I tweeted out who has a VP? What did I tweet? I think I tweeted a Typeform or a Google form, and it was something like, who wants their VP to be part of a community? I don't remember exactly, but it was something very generic like that. And I got 300 replies or 200 replies or something like that. And then I went and interviewed the people.
Yeah.
No one wanted it. I talked to literally 60 people. And they were like, wait, who are you? And what do you want? And it just was horrible. And then Joe, my partner, was like, dude, let's do this for CEOs. This will work. I was like, Joe, that's a horrible idea. He goes, just do it. And so I tweeted out the same thing. I think I said it a little bit differently. I think I said, I'm hosting a dinner in New York City for CEOs or something like that, where it's a very generic thing of other CEOs. And I got another 300 replies. And I started calling them and they were like, take my money, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's how it started.
How did you meet Joe?
I met Joe. His name's Joe Spicer. I'm the front man a little bit. Joe's way more successful than me. Joe sold his first company when he was 25 for $200 million. And then he has started 2 or 3 other companies that collectively or each got to 70, 80, $100 million in revenue. And when I first started The Hustle, I didn't know anyone in the media world. And so I just made a list of people to contact, and he was on it because he ran a company called Little Things, which was literally the most shared website on Facebook for an entire year. It was a viral content website, and it had 200 million or something like that monthly uniques. And I read a Business Insider article about him, and I emailed him, and I was like, I'm in New York. Do you want to hang out? I'll be there tomorrow. And he was like, all right, fine, let's hang out. And so I flew out because I didn't actually intend. I wasn't actually there.
You made it up.
I just made it up.
I love it.
And I became friends with him. And he invested $25,000 into my startup, and we became great friends.
That's cool. I'm a big fan of breaking people's frame with that kind of there was a guy I went and interviewed down in Miami, this guy Dickie Bush. He's a big writer guy. And he just moved. So he's super busy, all this stuff. It's all right, cool. What if I just fly to Miami 5 days from now? Could you do that? And boom, sure. Yeah, why not? Just make it as easy as you can for the other person. That's cool. I did.
Yeah, and Joe bit the bait.
Yeah.
When people do that to me, I say, don't fly. It's too much pressure. When it worked for him, probably because he didn't know that I was like there to meet him.
Yeah. How did you guys decide to become co-founders? Because so I'm a solo founder, and I don't know if I would do it that way again. It's great, you have more upside, but it's lonely, man. And I think in choosing a co-founder, it's big stakes, right? I mean, it's like marriage, basically.
Yeah, man. It is like marriage, which is a good segue. What I did with my wife, I'm kind of weird. What I did with my wife was like, we were dating for like 6 or 8 months or something like that, long enough where it was like, this is promising. It was like, look, we had a conversation. We're not saying we're necessarily gonna get married today, but like, it seems like we want to be life partners, right? Like that's trending that way. Tell me, in 5 years, what type of life do you want? And we actually mapped out our finances, and we were like, what do you want to buy one day? And what lifestyle do you want to work? Do you not want to work? What do I want? What about raising kids? How many kids do you want? Like we mapped it out. We're like, look, it doesn't matter if your opinion changes. You can change, but let's just say like if there's alignment on like what lifestyles we want and kids and all that, whatever. It was like the greatest thing ever. So when Joe and I were talking and like we're like, all right, well, let's start a company. And we did the same thing. So I asked each of us like 8 questions. I put it in a document and I go, copy this document and you go write your answers. I'll go write my answers. And it was like, what do I want a win? Like, what would a win look like in 5 or 10 years? What am I willing to put into it, like emotionally and time-wise and financially? What am I unwilling to do? Like, for example, for me, it was like, I'm going to have dinner with my family like all the time. I'm not going to travel. Like, I said some of that stuff. He said some of his things. And then we put like, what values do we care about? We did all this thing separately. And then we met for an hour and we reviewed each other's answers. And we were like, all right, this seems like mostly we are aligned. Here's 1 or 2 things where we're different. Are you okay with like buying into my vision? Am I okay buying, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And so we set the stage. We set that was it. And so we did that. And if you Google like Sam Parr co-founder discussion or something like that, I just shared our paperwork or like the questions. And it was like, I've done a lot of dumb things in my life. That thing was amazing. Everyone should do that for dating and for business relationships, things like that. It was awesome.
Yeah, I love that. Are there things on that doc where what was your version of it? Like, where did you guys overlap the most? And what were the big stuff where you guys did have differences that had to be compromises?
We didn't actually have that many differences, but the stuff that overlapped was like, we want to win, but we want to have fun.
Yeah.
Winning without fun is silly. So we were not willing to work on something like, for example, there's a lot of products I think that we could make that would make a lot of money, but they're soulless, or they feel slimy, or they don't feel like they provided tons of values to the customer. And so we were like, look, we want to have a great time. We said we want to try and keep teams relatively small. We said that we want to hire amazing people and give them tons of responsibility. We said we want to get after it and go big and do something that can last decades. And by go big, we mean, hundreds of millions in revenue, billions one day. We did not want to raise venture capital. We don't want to sell it. We align on those things. Families first. We are unwilling to sacrifice certain family obligations. The places that we didn't align, that's a great question. There weren't.
Yeah.
There weren't. I think Joe approaches things. So like we were like, why do you want to do this? I think I approach things mostly from like, I feel inadequate and I want to like prove that I'm like amazing and I want to like kick ass and prove everyone wrong and rub it in their face. And like prove to myself that I'm great. Joe has 0 of that. It was 100% like, I love this. This is my passion.
Do you still have that? Because there was the whole like,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You beat the Thrillist guy, man. You won with the hustle.
Maybe it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. I still like, no, it doesn't matter what you do. Yeah. I still feel an immense amount of, I need to prove to myself and others that I kick ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like pretty much like, I made a joke, but it's not a joke. It's like everything is like, it's like a high school girl who like wouldn't go out with you. It's like, it's all rooted in like, I'm going to prove that like I was worth it.
Okay, so you guys start this thing. Really quick run up. And obviously, you guys know a ton of founders, so I'm sure that was a big part of it. But if I were to look at like the first 6 months, so basically before Jordan came in, what would like the sources of leads be? Like, where were people coming from? Podcast, your personal
100%
brand?
100% from that Twitter form.
Okay.
The first 6 months, no, we didn't tell anyone about the business. So we started working on it in June, and we shared it publicly in April.
Yeah.
What's that, 10 months? So we didn't tell anyone about it. It was all like word of mouth. And so basically we had no website for 6 months. We didn't own, maybe we owned a domain name, and the domain name was like a logo that says Hampton. And then it was like, click here and you went to the type form.
Nice.
That was it. It was a Squarespace website, I think. And then I made a Google Doc that explained what it was. And I just sent it to like 100 friends, as well as the, basically to 100 friends. And I was like, I am not selling you. I am just letting you know this thing exists. You reach out to me if you want to participate. And I still do that. I never ever try to convince a friend to do anything. But, and then I had the 300 people on that list. I called all of them and I interviewed 100% of them. And at the end of the interview, it was like, Joe, I think this person wants in. They said if we make them a great group. And he went on the back end and tried to figure out how to work Stripe. And then he went and found facilitators. We have facilitators who moderate the meetings. And he went and found them. And I told the people, like, all right, sounds like you're in, right? You're in? Okay, cool. I'll message you and give me 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll go make your group.
Yeah.
And that's how we did it.
That's cool. Okay, so...
Like, if you look at my calendar in the first few months, I call it Zebra. It looked like there was like literally 15 20-minute calls on my calendar. So it was like a 20-minute call, 10-minute break, 20-minute call, 10-minute break, 20-minute. And I bought like a fancy headset that was like wind resistant, so I could walk around the city while I was taking all my calls, because I was just on the phone literally all day.
Nice. So if I or somebody had joined in that first like 6 months, like what was the onboarding? What was the experience? Like, what was the MVP? Because I bet there's a lot of people who want to start communities and they go super fast. They want to grow. They do all these things that are probably wrong.
Well, I think what we did was we sent them just a Stripe link and they paid. And then weeks later, I would announce their group and I would send them an email and I would like write about the group and why these 8 people are together and what makes them wonderful. And I like played it up where I made everyone sound amazing. And then they were put into a Slack. And in Slack, I would post every single day for a long time to like create like the culture. And it worked.
Yeah. And
then we hired moderators and facilitators to guide the conversation. And when we started digitally. So like your monthly meeting was online, and everyone wanted that because they were all like traveling still from COVID, or they were like living in some place. And then over the past 6 months, everyone's like, no, I want in real life. So that's been a big pivot. But at first it was all digital, which is like way easier to manage, but way less good of a product.
Yeah. So you had the Slack group, you have digital, basically core groups where you're meeting.
Yeah.
And there's the facilitator's. That's pretty
interesting. Joe did all that stuff, and it sounds simple, but everything behind the scenes he did.
Yeah.
I did all the talking, and we collaborated on the thinking, and he did all of the making.
Yeah. So I have friends who are in, these core groups, and they love them, right? And I think there's something about the facilitator that kind of like helps, right? You ask things, or things are teased out of you that you otherwise, maybe wouldn't go there. What do you think? What kinds of questions get asked? Like what kinds of like environments or conversations do you try to create? We're
actually working on this whole exercise. Jory, who's over here, is working on this whole thing about how to like, we're trying to call it like a point of view. Like, how do you have, like, what's Hampton's point of view? But we already had that a little bit because it was just Joe and I. And so like him and I are pretty blunt and confrontational. And so we like wanted our core groups to be like that.
Yeah.
We're also super transparent with each other. So like, I know everything about him. I know his complete financial situation, and he does for me. And so we did things like net worth reveals, where like if you were a member, you had to like reveal you had to break down your whole net worth to like everyone. And that made people super uncomfortable, but it is pretty effective.
And you do it that at the beginning. So it's just open kimono.
And that like rubs people the wrong way, but it's pretty awesome. And so anyway, that was like an early exercise that our members still do. And yeah, we try to create like a fairly confrontational, like with love environment.
Yeah. I like that. What else do you think gets asked in core groups that are good? Like, so you and I were talking about Andrew Warner before this. Andrew's like very good at like you go to his house and he loves these, like, nobody loves like a deep, meaningful conversation more than Andrew. He gets everybody around, he gets some whiskeys going, and then he'll just ask crazy shit. When did you lose your virginity? Or what's your net worth? Like, what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you?
On my third date with my wife, I went to Andrew's house and he like asked me that, and I was like, Andrew, shut the fuck up.
So you're not pulling from Andrew's question bank, is my guess.
I mean, yeah, people do get into that, but we don't ask that. It's basically like group therapy.
Yeah,
is what it is. So like, we have a joke, but it's not a joke. It's like, how fast can I make a grown man cry? That's what happens in a lot of the meetings. And in fact, where we are, we're in our new office here. One of the reasons we got this office is a lot of the meetings happen in this room over here, and we'll watch them. And like Jory, who works on, like, she asked them if she can sit in on some of them. And so that's like the lab. So she's like in there, like taking notes. And yeah, I mean, you want to like, it's speed to vulnerability. I think that's like the key is, how do I make someone break really fast?
Yeah.
It's sort of like, I mean, it's just like therapy. Like, the sooner you get vulnerable and you break down and you imagine that you're nothing, that's kind of like the best place to start. And then you kind of get built up. It's really fun. Like, in my core group, I have people who are really successful and people I really admire. And it's amazing to see them have flaws, because it makes me feel like normal and okay, and it empowers me. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I listen to 2 podcasts a lot, and friends and I will have similar conversations to this, but love MFM. And then there's this other one called Smartless. It's like,
I love those guys.
So good. MFM and Smartless actually have some overlap, at least in the feeling and the takeaway for me, which is like, oh yeah, there's all these wildly successful people, and they're kind of fucked up sometimes, or they've still got that, like, oh, I don't feel good enough. Like, I want that drive. And
that's super
I love that. I'm glad that I can like hear that, because then I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to be okay.
Well, I used to have these events called HustleCon. It was like when I was 24, that was one of my first San Francisco companies. And we hosted like these huge events, like with thousands of people. And I would get like the speakers, like I think I started it in 14 and we went until basically 2014, 15, 16 is when I did it by myself. And I would convince these like big shots, like any startup that was popular back then, they spoke at it. And I would tell them like, oh, sound checks at like 9 and you talk at like 1. But like, you don't need a sound check for a conference. I just told them to come early so I could hang out with them. So I would hang out with all these amazing people backstage, and they would tell these crazy stories. And they were like, there was times where they were acting scared or like soft, or I was like, in my head, I'm like, dude, this person's acting kind of like a pussy right now. Like, what are they talking about? You're the man. What are you doing? And I remember thinking that is so relieving that like they're mostly normal like me, but they still have the courage to move forward. And I find that very energizing. And so that's kind of like the root of Hampton.
Yeah. The Smartless thing, I think a big lesson for me there has been these actors they have on, and then the 3 guys, like, people blow up and do well at different times. Like the Sean, the guy who used to be on Will and Grace, like early, super early success. And then like hasn't done a ton since then. Like, but the point is like staying in the game and realizing that, like, oh, it actually may take a long time, to become like Jason Bateman, who Jason Bateman is now. That's comforting. They just stay in the game.
It takes forever.
Yeah.
I think my first hit was really fast. And it was like
the hustle, not the
hustle. Yeah, the hustle. We started and sold it so fast, and it like was life-changing. It was so much luck. It was a very like, the longer the timeline is, like the less luck is involved maybe, but like there was so much luck that made it happen. And I think if your plan is to plan to have something similar, that's a bad plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a pretty crappy plan.
I think maybe there's a lot of luck. I think you're very good at creating luck. And so like if we go back to like San Francisco, like you've been doing community for a long time. Not like a businessy, monetized way, but like...
No, I mean, I have been monetizing it in some type of way, but I've been doing it since probably I was 21.
Yeah. Because you like co-worked, I'm sure you met and co-worked a bunch of people, but like Moise Ali, who started like Native.
Him
Ryan
and I
Hoover.
had an office smaller than this. And
Yeah.
it was me and a couple other guys and Moyes, and we watched him build this deodorant empire and sell it for $100 million in like 30 months or something.
Yeah, man. There's like a mafia that came out of like
It was
that
crazy.
San
It was called
Francisco
Founders
days.
Dojo. It was awesome.
How did that happen? Like how did you build community in? Because frankly, like that's why I moved back to New York. I'm trying to do that. Here I look at like Jesse with Bootstrap Giants. I'm like, I want an army of like cool mid-20s bootstrap guys. I just want us to sit in this Chelsea Piers Fitness
I
and kill
organized it. Dude, my first thing, so in my core group is this guy named Sieva Kaczynski. Sieva runs an investment firm holding company that does just a ton of revenue. I don't know whatever he said public, but it's huge.
Yeah.
You know how I met him? I met him because I had a blog called the Anti-MBA, which basically was a book club. And I posted ads on Craigslist and Reddit saying, I'm hosting a business book club once a week. Who wants to come? And he was the first person who showed up.
Wow.
And he's still one of my best friends. I went to his wedding. He's one of my closest friends. And he's in my Hampton core group. I invested in his thing. He invested in all my things. And so when I moved to San Francisco, I did all of that stuff all the time. I would host meetups all the time. I was always doing stuff. And my philosophy, and I was single at the time, my philosophy was, and I desperately wanted to meet like a girlfriend. And my philosophy was, I'm going to do dope stuff and bring people along with me.
Yeah.
And so that was like the energy for building a community.
Yeah. And so was that mainly two things then? So you had Founders Dojo, which is like, cool.
Founders Dojo, that wasn't my thing. Someone brought me, that was my friend Dave. I met this guy named Dave, and he owned a website called swimmingpoolquotes.com. And he had an office, and his whole shtick was, I have this office space, but I have like 8 seats. I'm going to select who gets to work there for free. And it was all degenerates. It was so much fun.
Who was there?
Moyes was there.
Yeah.
Our friend Roman, who has a company called Raycon that does $100 million a year selling headphones. We had this one guy named Raj who created a website called The Worst Drug. And Raj was a little Indian guy. And The Worst Drug was a website to use the technology that he built, where you would find the most highest quality and most shared GIFs on the internet.
Yeah.
Turns out that's all porn. And so we had an HD monitor at our office, and we would stand around this monitor, and Raj would be like, check this out. When you hit spacebar, it loads so fast. But it was really like the raunchiest porn on earth. And we're just sitting around like, wow, that loaded so fast. And then
it's a great founder content diet. You guys,
it was crazy. And then crypto came out at that point. And so they were all into crypto. So some of the earliest crypto like schemes or whatever I saw happen there. And then, do you remember Meerkat?
Which one was that?
Where you could like film yourself 24 hours a day?
Oh, dude, that was ridiculous. Dude.
That was happening there. So we would do these things called marathons, where we would be in the office for 24 hours and we'd film ourselves.
Yeah.
Dude, it was just degeneracy. It was awesome.
Wow. That's cool, man. I'm surprised you didn't start like Justin TV doing that, man.
So if you Google Recode, and it'll say like, go west, young man. And Recode did a profile on 12 of the guys in the group. And it was like all people who moved to San Francisco with nothing to get rich.
Yeah. And
build stuff. And we would sleep at the office because like there were some guys who didn't have enough money.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. And if you Google the real life Erlich Bachman, I made a video on Dave, the guy who ran the Founders Dojo. So it was awesome. It changed my life.
You, Founders Dojo, you're working with people there, Anti-MBA Club. Who are the people that like you feel like changed your life the most?
Andrew Warner did.
Yeah.
That guy was the man. He was a celebrity to me. So the fact that he like took me under his wing was awesome. So Andrew changed my life. I helped this guy start a business called Bunk. It was like a roommate matching app business. And it wasn't like that good. We got quote acquired.
This was John.
Yeah, John. Yeah. And we got quote acquired by this thing called Apartment List. And at the time they were doing 18 or 20 million in revenue. Now I think they do hundreds of millions. They're worth $600 or $700 million. Seeing those guys run that company was like inspirational to me. I'm still friends with one of the founders, Sean Purry, who I host MFM with. I met him during this era. Ryan Hoover, met him during this era. I mean, we saw it all. Like I remember I went to a party one time, and this was years ago when I was single, and I met this girl that I was flirting with, And this really tall, good-looking guy came in, and he was so charming. And he like stole her, and she left with him. And I was like, he was so slick. That guy had it. And 2 weeks later, I see that he like lives near me, and he gets arrested 10 doors down from me, and he founded the Silk Road. And that was Ross Ulbricht, who's now out of prison. I don't know, Ross, if you ever see this, I don't know if you remember. You're the one who one up me. Congrats.
That's what happens.
Yeah, he had it. He had the
10 days later.
He had the energy of a drug kingpin, or the confidence of a drug kingpin. It worked.
Yeah.
I wish I would have had that confidence, but like there were so many examples of that.
Yeah.
Of like someone who's a nobody, and then like overnight they become a somebody.
Yeah. Okay. So,
dude, I literally have like probably 40 friends from when we were 23 that are now like millionaires or billionaires.
Yeah. Dude, Nick Gray was on a podcast with Andrew Wilkinson recently, and they were talking about friend billionaires. And I love that idea of friend billionaire. You're definitely a friend billionaire. I think it
not
had to have
anymore.
started there.
Like I have now, as you get older. So when you're young, the goal should be quantity.
Yeah.
It's as many as you can, and then you keep a small crew tight. Now, to me, I have we joke at my house, but it's kind of serious, which is no new friends.
Yeah.
I have my crew. I don't want anything else. Like I don't need a network anymore. I have exactly what I need.
Like you've got your restaurants, you know what you want to order.
I know exactly what I need.
Yeah.
Now I just got to put my head down and focus and just do the same thing for the next 3 decades.
Yeah.
But when you're young, if you're listening to this and you're like 22, get in the mix. Yeah. That changed my life.
So I guess a couple like takeaways for community for me. I mean, one, like, and I'm thinking about this for me too. This is great. Work with people. Find a way to work with cool people. Right. Spend as much time with them.
Yeah,
for you, that was the Founder Dojo thing.
I actually think just do life with them.
Yeah.
Do life with them. So if you're both dating someone, like go hang out together. You know, like if you're just gonna go, whatever you're doing, bring someone with you.
Yeah.
And you be the one that organizes the cool shit.
Yeah.
Be like, I live in San Francisco. I bought a Groupon for 4 people. And it's like the cheapest thing. It's $30. We're going to go to a winery. I'm driving. I'll be the DD. I need 3 great people to go with me. Just like things like that.
Yeah, I like it. Hampton. So early days, it sounds like a lot of it was just like you built this network, this community of people that you knew, and you were able to like get the thing off the ground like very quickly that way.
I can blunt force most anything to like 5 million in revenue.
So now, and when I was talking with Stanton a little bit a couple months ago, like a lot of the early lead gen was it's MoneyWise, it's these like these lead magnets and stuff. I imagine that tops out at some point, right? Like there has to be other new sources of lead gen.
It slows down.
Yeah.
We got lucky, dude. MFM is so big. Like we're so lucky. And it's gonna like phase out one day. It always happens. But right now, it's still good for us. But we have launched MoneyWise, a new podcast.
Yeah.
And then you have to make the product so freaking good that people keep coming back and refer people. And that's really hard. And that's what we're doing now.
Yeah. So if we looked at like the mix of where people come from today, it's going to be MoneyWise, which you basically interview wealthy people and you get them to go.
No, I don't interview them anymore. Someone else is doing it.
Somebody else interviews. My First Million, your podcast with Sean.
So those 2 podcasts, yeah.
Yeah. And then referrals. Referrals are a big source.
Yeah. Referrals. And then people hearing about it on Twitter.
Yeah.
People hearing about it via our content. Now we just started doing paid marketing, but we're spending like, until the other day, it was like 10 grand a month.
Okay. Yeah.
So like nothing. Like
and on what? On like lead magnet ads? Like your like agency report stuff? Or
no,
like
straight to the homepage.
Oh, interesting.
Like it's not like, maybe we have like I think we have like joinhampton.com/like join.
Yeah.
So like we could track it a little bit different, but no, like, dude, it's super not sophisticated.
Yeah. You guys should do
at The Hustle, we were kind of sophisticated. I mean, I probably bought $10 million worth of ads, and then I had a team do the rest. But I mean, it's not really that sophisticated. Facebook's so freaking good; they'll do it for you. But like, no, our operations are not that. My business is simple, dude. I want to get 8 amazing people in a room every single month and let them have the best conversations.
Yeah.
It's a very simple business. It's incredibly hard, but it's a very unsophisticated. Like my team who works here is super smart, and they would probably say it's way more sophisticated than I realize, which is probably true. But like, our marketing is not that sophisticated at all.
Yeah, there's I have this buddy, this guy Daniel Fazio, and he runs a agency community. You know, it's smaller than you guys. It maybe does 300, 400K a month, but a lot of his stuff is paid ads. They do a lot of paid ads. One thing you guys may want to try is, I was talking to them actually about your funnel. Maybe not sending to the homepage, but like advertise to events, right? And qualify the leads, like make sure that they're I think
that's a good idea.
3 mil or above, right? Is kind of the target for you guys now in terms of like who comes in.
It's a hard thing. My business is hard. It's hard for a couple of reasons, but a few reasons that I can talk about is you can't grow for growth's sake.
Yeah.
I can't just throw people into this. That will ruin it. The second thing is even if someone is qualified, like financially, if they don't fit like a sniff check, or if like there's not like if there's like an energy or culture difference, I don't let them in.
Yeah.
Like I click deny if I think that there's something shady going on or something.
Yeah.
And so it makes it really hard to run those ads. And also like I'm selective. So I don't just let everyone in. And so ads work, but it's not like a software product where it's just like money's money.
Yeah. I think about it like I
turn down so much money.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah. You almost want to generate leads. It's like if this would never work, but like if a fraternity was going to like turn on lead gen ads, right? Well, what's the funnel? It's like you go to the house, like you know they put their flyers on. You go to the house, you meet everybody. There's a couple different things, and then they get bought in on the frat, I guess in that case, and you kind of vet the people. But that's interesting. Cool. And then the process for accepting somebody.
We interview everyone.
Times? Okay.
So it's July 3rd, so my office is dead right now, but typically these will be full of people interviewing someone. And then we ask them a bunch of questions to learn about them. And then my partner, Joe, typically is the guy. He will watch 100% of the interviews and click thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah.
Hey, just between you and me, I have a little favor to ask you. We do this whole podcast for free, and I think that some of the episodes are going to make you a lot of money, right? I talk with founders, usually founders who have an audience, about their financials, their funnels, and their feelings. So I hope that will motivate you to start a business, or if you already have a business, it's going to teach you a lot about how to scale and how to build an audience, how to create your own luck. So the only ask that I have is if you're on Spotify right now, I'd like you to hit the follow button. And if you're on YouTube, I'd like you to hit subscribe. That'll help you and I go to more of these cool people and ask them to hang out with us so we can learn more about their business. So with that, I'll just get back to the podcast.
I want to talk about your events. Your events are badass. I went to this run.
You go to the retreat or the event?
I did not the retreat, although I want to talk about that too. I went to the Othership thing. Where basically Othership, for people who don't know.
Robbie, right?
Yeah.
He did it?
Yeah, dude, his story.
And you did it with Jake?
We did it with Jake. Go in, amazing sauna experience.
Dude, I think we did 300 events like that in the last 12 months.
Yeah, they're cool. This one, you like scream. You get in the sauna, you like scream out loud. I've never screamed in like a group of like 50 men and women before. Like it was spiritual, dude.
Yeah.
Could we just go through like what are the other badass events? Because I bet there's so many.
Yeah, so we have like categories of events. So in the very low end, it's just coffee hangouts. So for example, you can log into Hampton and you could see on the map where everyone lives. And you could be like, oh, I'm from LA, but I'm visiting. And you could send a message to all the New York people. You know, if you're in LA visiting New York. And then you could tell your chapter lead, I'm visiting. I want to meet New York people. And we'll help organize an event. We'll put it on the portal. And then you can go to organize like a 20-person coffee hang. So that's like the low end. One step above that is what you went to. So we'll just organize an interesting evening experience. So it could be like 8 people who have similar interests. They can go and hang out and we'll get like a speaker. Or it could be like what you went to was this company just in New York City. It's called Othership. They do a sauna and cold plunge system setup. But like there's some spiritual, interesting things that like it's like a fun experience. So we hosted that and we had the founder come and talk. And then it goes a little bit higher to where last week we had a self-organized golf retreat. And so fans of golf, we got them, I don't know anything about golf, but Pembroke, which I guess is Pembroke? Is that like that's like a famous golf thing? It's like golfers love it, apparently.
What was it? Like, what is it? Food? What is it? Or
it's a course, right?
Oh, it's
Pembroke
a course.
is a location. Okay. So it's a course where we got like 20-ish people and they got to, we like bulk, because we have quantity, we like can get bulk deals and we like got the date. And then they all went golfing, and they've gone now 2 or 3 years in a row with the same group of people have gone golfing. So that's like one above. And then like of that category, we've gone rally car racing. We have done lobster diving that I went to. It was awesome. We're thinking about renting out a jet to do zero gravity Have you ever heard of that? It's like where the jet goes up and it like crashes down and you float for like 30 seconds at a time.
And you simulate space, basically.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So like those are like adventures. We call them adventures.
Yeah.
And then one step above that, which is the most expensive one, we do retreats. And AC, who works at our company, organizes these amazing retreats that people love. And so like we did one where it was like a health and wellness thing. So it was like mindfulness, and you could bring your spouse, and you're there at this hotel for 3 days with like, let's say 15 other members, and you're up in the mountains, and it's all around like meditation, or it's all around some type of like stretching. It could be stretching. Like, I don't know, like whatever interest people have, like we'll host, like we could host a thing around it.
Yeah. Nice. That's cool. And is that like member guided, or you got like, are you hiring a shaman?
So all of those that I mentioned have both member guided and Hampton organized.
Yeah.
So like, for example, there might be a founder who has a company, or he's just a wealthy person and he owns this amazing hotel. And he was like, I would love to host like 20 Hampton members. I'll give you guys a like at cost deal or something like that. And I want to make this experience wonderful. And so they'll do it themselves. And then other times we're organizing and we'll send one of our people there, or we'll hire a Hampton moderator or facilitator to be there and do it.
Yeah. That's cool. Who are some of the people you've met through Hampton?
Well, my core group, like
on you.
I am,
but you knew a lot of them before, right? You knew Austin.
I knew Sieva, but I wasn't that close with Austin. Now he's one of my best friends, and I'm moving to where I moved my family to be in New York City because he's here with his family, and we want to like raise our families together.
Yeah. Are you going to live near each other? I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I almost got a place in his building. I applied for it, but I didn't. Someone else offered a higher thing. Yeah, I'm uprooting my family because I've grown to love my core group, and I want to be around them all the time and do life together.
That's another important thing. Moving near, like I knew you live near Neville or whatever. I've tried to like I moved to Union Square because one of my best friends lives across the park, so I can just walk
you want to like
to
increase the surface area of like serendipity.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, like my core group has changed my life.
Yeah. What do you do differently now? Like if you were to look at like the way you structure your day or your goals, whatever that means to you, a year and a half, or I guess 3 years into your core group, what's changed about you because of them?
We've asked every core group to do like this thing called box breathing. It's a type of breathing.
Okay.
And like, just like a small exercise like that of like calming down before I react to people, to like someone emailing me or telling me bad news or something I don't want to hear, and just like sit on it for a minute, breathe, and then like react. So like that has been hugely beneficial. I also think that a big thing that I do now based off of like so I have this guy in my core group named Val. Val has companies that do 9 figures a year in revenue. And Val is very successful, and he's incredibly unrattle. You can't rattle him. So you'll tell him bad news and he'll go, okay, well, let's like take that in and think, what can I get over? What can I not get over? And like reacting that way has been helpful. And also realizing, and I learned this from Austin. Austin is a friend of mine. His name's Austin Reef. He started a company called Morning Brew, which eventually sold for tens of millions and then hundreds of millions of dollars. They sold it in multiple pieces. He's like a Excel nerd at his core. Like where he's like, I just look at the numbers and I know how to like do this and do that.
Yeah.
But he's evolved to where he's a very soulful person, where what matters to him is like, am I putting out good in the world? Like, am I hiring great people? Do I enjoy my life? And that has worn off on me to where I care less about the data and more about intuition. More about like, does this feel good?
Yeah.
Am I proud of this?
Yeah.
And less about what do the numbers say?
Yeah. You don't give a shit about the funnel. It's like, am I proud of the events we're doing?
Yeah,
the feedback
like,
from the groups.
It's just like here's a very specific example of how this looks in real life, which is like when I'm making something or I'm creating a policy, like I know the numbers say that I can raise the price, but I'm happy with this. This makes me feel good. So like Amazon, like I think Bezos said, he goes, we've raised prices before. People will buy it. But like, it just feels good to be the low cost provider for these products. And so like, that's like an intuition thing where like, it just feels good.
Yeah.
Or I know I can do all these funnel optimization things. I just don't want to yet.
Yeah.
Because I want to like treat my customer like a grown adult and like, I don't want to beg them.
Yeah. You've had 2 big changes in the business the last 6 months. Or maybe more. I don't know.
I wonder what those are.
I think, my opinion, but one is like you've gone from digital groups to now primarily in person, like around the cities.
Yeah.
And then you and Joe are in the business now again. Why did you set it up originally? Why did you install a CEO or bring on a CEO? And then why did you pivot back?
Because we did it too early. I think hiring a CEO can be smart, but I think we thought that doing these digital core groups was the answer, but then we realized that people want to switch to in real life. And you really need a founder in there, I think. The person who has I don't care if the company dies. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to impact me financially at all.
Yeah.
It will hurt my ego, but like, whatever. Like, it won't impact my family.
Yeah. You care about the product.
I care about the product, yeah. But like, financially, it doesn't matter. You need someone who has that attitude, I think, to change quickly. And you can't ask a CEO to have that.
Yeah.
I also think I was intimidated a little bit by the opportunity and how to pull it off. And so I wanted to hand that off to someone, which is not a good reason probably to hire someone.
Yeah. Abdicating instead of like delegating, potentially. You feel.
What's that first? I don't even know what that means.
I learned that word from, we did one of these interviews with Eric Siu, and he talked about abdication. I was like, what?
What's that mean?
What was the second part of the word?
What does that mean, leaving?
It's like you think you're delegating, but you're really just kind of like, oh yeah, you do it all. You know, I don't want to think about the problem kind of stuff.
That sounds like a fantastic word that accurately describes the situation.
Okay, fair. What's sucked about coming back into the business? What have you had to go solve?
Well, I work a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't suck, but it's just like a change. Having to edit a team is even if you're like, this is clear that this part needs to change and I feel relieved doing it, that's not an exciting thing to do. And I don't like doing that, and I don't like the pain that the person feels.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
Yeah. I'm a huge baby about that stuff. I have a hard time.
I don't have a hard time doing it.
Oh, okay.
But I hate it.
Okay.
It's like working out. I'm going to work out, but like it sucks.
Yeah.
It's right. It's the right thing to do, but I hate doing it. Dude, it's crazy how complicated things can get, even for a small business. So like just learning. Like the other day I had to do a session where I had to learn how to use HubSpot. And like I knew how to use HubSpot. I'm the one who set it up. But like HubSpot has changed and like we use it differently than I was used to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is so freaking complicated. I'm a Neanderthal. I'm a caveman. I'm a few brain cells away from being a talking monkey. I cannot figure out how to like use these complicated systems.
Yeah.
And so that literally just like learning these things has been hard.
Yeah. Fair. You've been back in the seat now for 4 months? 3 months?
March.
How
many months has it been since then?
4, 3,
about that.
3, something like that.
Joe's the CEO. I'm not the CEO. I'm the president. So Joe's the CEO. My partner Joe. He's like the boss. I'm his kind of right hand man.
I like that. What are the biggest changes you want to make to the business that you haven't made yet? What are you trying to figure out right now?
I want to figure out how to get 10,000 people to be members and have them meet in real life every month.
Yeah.
I think that's exciting.
What has to change for that to be able to support that? Because even now, like you're telling me all these events. I mean, you guys are doing hundreds of like custom events. Like each one of these is different.
Yeah, but a lot of them are member led.
Okay,
so like being decentralized is like key.
Yeah.
So what has to change?
Yeah.
We got to get everyone in real life. And finding customers is really hard because let's say 5 people this month sign up to join an Atlanta core group. I need 3 more people.
Yeah.
So that's actually really hard.
How to visage or like some of these, like is there a playbook?
Their models are different. Their models are, they're like a franchise. So they basically find a facilitator or moderator.
I see.
And the moderator goes out and gets like 18 people to join a group. And the moderator makes money on the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they're different, which I'm sure they would say it's harder, but like the grass is always greener. And I'm like, oh my God, that sounds so much easier.
Would you ever want to do that? Because the risk is, right, you lose control over the product.
Yeah, I would be open to that. I actually I think that this type of business, the goal is to not have control. Like, I think the goal is to like create a framework and have people follow, but you sort of want your customers' energy to sort of dictate like how the group should go.
Yeah. Do you think that Southern Sam would have like expected all this to happen? Would he be surprised by you now?
I knew I was going to be a successful entrepreneur. I thought I was going to own like a landscaping company though.
Okay. Yeah.
And I didn't expect it to happen this fast.
Yeah.
I got really lucky at a very young age, and that is a huge unfair advantage.
Yeah. Are you happy?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm every day I'm like, I'm so happy that I made a handful of decisions in my 20s that have made the rest of my life significantly easier. Like marrying the right woman, giving up drugs and alcohol, getting my health in order. For the first 5 years of like starting businesses, like I was a fucking loser. I tried to get a job at Google. I tried to get a job as an accountant, and like they didn't hire me.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't get a job.
You didn't know Isaac, you know?
Yeah, well, apparently, yeah. So I just kind of kept with the entrepreneur thing, and I'm so thankful I made a couple of those decisions because it really changed. It was a generational change, and I think I made some good decisions, and I think half of it was I got really lucky with the timing.
Yeah.
A bunch of the things that I've started, I think Hampton's one of them. Newsletters was definitely one of them, where they were jokes at the time and like silly at the time, and it just got really lucky that people started realizing they're amazing, and we got lucky that we were doing it 4 years before that.
Do you think
like when he was starting Beehive, even I was like, newsletters are dumb. Like there's no way. So I had sold a company for a lot of money, and so did my friend Austin. And Tyler, who helped build theirs, was like, I'm creating this software that we had our own software, and so did Morning Brew, and we all built the same thing around the same time. He was like, I'm building this software to make this easier for everyone. And I was like, well, I'm already an investor of ConvertKit. And like, I don't think the industry is big enough for two. And like, this is stupid. And like, obviously that's wrong.
Yeah.
But even I, who was in the industry, was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
So we got really lucky.
You were his like Ben Lear or whatever the guy's name is. Yeah.
No, but Tyler's the man. I wasn't dismissive of him at all. I was like, you're the man, and you've picked a really stupid idea.
Yeah.
And obviously I was right about one of those things and wrong about the other.
How do you think Hampton will be your life's work? Do you look at it like that?
I think it's going to be the foundation for it.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's going to go in a couple ways where it's going to be steady growth for the next 50 years, or it won't grow at all. And we'll just own it forever, and we'll use the profits to like buy other communities, or Hampton will be the brand that gets to be huge. But I know that for the next 5 to 10 years, like I'm not going to be doing anything else. So
the bet is on community then?
I'm not taking a stand on what the bet is. I don't care. I'm not making a bet. I'm making a bet. Well, I am making a bet. I'm not making a bet that I can operate all types of communities. But I am making a bet that in the next 10 to 20 years, as AI gets more popular, people are going to want to meet in real life. And this demographic that I have access to is perfectly situated in my ikigai, which is like what the world wants to pay for, what I'm good at, what I like doing.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm just going to do that for a long time and see what happens.
Yeah. I love it. Dude, this was great. I appreciate you coming on and doing this. That's the
Peace.
That's the podcast.